Howdy again. Whew, still a warm one. Trying to cool down. Trying to relax in between doing a chore or two and then sitting back again. Working my way up the food chain here. This is one, uh, I refer to as a local brew, even though it's not really. It's Tallgrass Oasis, and they're out of Manhattan, Kansas. Just outside of KC. But it's close enough to, I call it local. Anyway, this is an interesting brew, and I'm gonna pop it for you. As you can see, it's a Tallgrass is one of those breweries that does only cans. It didn't start out that way, but they switched over a couple years back. This is an interesting brew. It comes in a 16-ounce can. I'm gonna pour it into my big mug here because I know this mug will hold it all. Very nice. Look at that color. Kind of a cloudy amberish. You say? You say? What do you say? Do you say? Anyways, I digress. Um, their website calls it a double ESB slash IPA ish beer. The numbers on it are 7293. A little light to be called a double IPA, but bigger than almost any single IPAs out there, regular IPAs. It's almost the numbers of if you were just looking at the stats, you'd probably just assume it was a West Coast IBA, because that's usually what they're running, 7 to 7.5, anywhere from 80 to 95 IBUs generally on the West Coast IPAs. It has a different feel though, and you'd have to try to know what I'm talking about. It does have that more of that maltier feel that you get from a ESB more so than a IPA, but it's very good, and it's just one of those beers that just tastes good. It's just finely crafted. It's one that just kind of doesn't really fit into one style, and that's what's great. I'm a big proponent of the American craft brew. So anybody that's listened to me knows that there are other parts of the country that are cranking out some good beers. Don't get me wrong. I just think that for the most part, a few clunkers aside, the American craft market is what's pushing the movement. And you've got breweries, Tallgrass, for Deschutes, Stone, Firestone Walker. These guys are pushing the envelope and inventing new styles, and that's what it's all about. It's not getting too caught up in tradition, saying this style has to be this way, this style has to be that way. It's throwing the rule book out the window and getting creative, and that's what some of these guys are doing. Stone, especially, is they've knocked out a clinker or two, but man, when they swing for the fences and hit, boy, they've got some great ones out there. Hmm. This is a small brewery out of Manhattan, Kansas. If you ever happen to be traveling through the Midwest, this is definitely one you're going to want to try, especially if you're a hophead. There are bigger brews out there, but the flavor, the balance, the maltiness of this one, it's one of those that is just right. It just hits on every mark. I mean, it's a clear winner, and you all know that I don't do number, ratings or give grades. For me, it's either will I spend the money or will I not. I think beer ought to be that simple. This is definitely one you're going to want to spend some money on. It generally runs, depending on the store you go to, anywhere between as little as 7.5 and as much as 9 a 4 pack. So it just depends on where you're at and if it's on sale or not. But it's a winner. This time to Beer Whisperer, I'm gonna dance and on myself out of here. This is Yoda drinking a beer. Tasty it is.